Before you got them old coaches that be like, man, back in my day we ran 30 miles every day, and then we came and we hit the bag. We didn't need all the mitts and stuff, man. We sparred, and then you could go 15 rounds every day. Hey, what's going on, y'all? Micah here, and today we're doing more of a boxing documentary kind of breakdown kind of thing, man. And the person at hand that we're talking about today is your boy Thomas Sowell. He is if you don't know who he is, he's a top tier elite kunologist, and he tends to give takes on things that are kind of alternative to me, and I don't know, some things he says that seem like he might be sounding good, but then I hear a little bit more, I'm like, what are you talking about, bruh? I just don't know. He's one of those guys who kind of panders to his audience, and I think he will do that no matter what it makes him look like, just so he can get the money and the accolades from whoever. But anyway, man, he's talking about boxing here, and let's see if he actually has some good points about the boxing. Is he actually making some good points? Because that's like, how can you really make it a racial issue or make it a racist thing, or are you just full of garbage again and you're being a kunologist? Let's go.
Boxing matches on DVDs tells us something about some of the ways in which American society has changed. The first thing I noticed about the boxers back in the era of Joe Louis, from the 1930s into the 1950s, is that they all wore regulation boxing trunks and they didn't have tattoos. There was no trying to outdo each other with garish boxing trunks.
What do you guys think about that? He talks about the boxing trunks. Yeah, it is what it is. I think that's kind of what makes boxing more interesting. Everybody gets to be more of an individual. So I don't really, who wants to go around walking around with plain black title boxing trunks. If you're a boxer, I'm pretty sure you know whether you're from amateur on up to pro. I'm pretty sure you know that, yeah, I don't really want to walk around and be the same guy as everybody else.
You gotta look good, you play good, pay good, live good, eat good, die good.
As far as tattoos, I think having tattoos back in the day was just kind of not a thing, period, wasn't it? That's just my assumption. So I mean, that's so far I'm not really in full agreement right there. What do you guys think? Let me know. Should it be like, yeah, we should all have regulation boxing shorts, and our shorts should be up almost to our crotch, and then no tattoos. I mean, I don't have any tattoos. There are certain boxers that don't have any tattoos. Floyd Mayweather doesn't. There are several top tier boxers that didn't have tattoos until like late. And they're not even crazy sorry tattoos. Like you got Miguel Cotto, you have Shane Mosley. They got tattoos late in their careers, late in their lives, and they're not really bad. I think they got like a tribal tattoo or something, something real simple. Y'all let me know how y'all feel. Let's keep going.
Trunks are wild tattoos. They didn't try to stare each other down when the referee was giving them instructions before the fight. Seldom did any of these boxers go in for showboating during the fight. There was no denigrating the other fighter, either before or after the fight. After Joe Louis knocked out an opponent,
and he talks about guys denigrating and all that kind of stuff. I guess like during like the Joe Louis era, but it's like you kind of forgot one of the biggest guys, Jack Johnson. I mean, he wasn't exactly just sitting there just taking whatever the white guys were giving to him. He was taking their women, and they were mad about it, and they tried to paint him as a villain. I think they even they brought him up on some charges that was fake and false and fraudulent, and that's why your boy, of all people, somebody that I'm pretty sure this guy looks up to and would lick his balls and wash his drawers, Donald Trump came and pardoned him on it. So I think he's wrong again right there. And also, as far as that goes with boxing and guys talking trash and having garish behavior, how else do I sell myself? I'm a prize fighter. I'm trying to get money. Am I fighting and getting my head punched out just because, or am I fighting because I'm trying to build myself a better life and take care of my family? I mean, I don't really see a big problem with it, man. It is boxing. Boxing, first off, is not a politically correct thing in the first place. It's a very barbaric sport, so I'm not really sure why this guy's trying to make it into this ballet dance. Like, you're not the same as the ballets back in the day. Like, bro, like, this is not that. Boxing is not politically correct at all. Let's go.
Any comment he made was usually along the lines of, he's a good fighter and very game. Sometimes he would add, he had me worried for a while. though there was seldom any real reason to worry. One of the fighters who did give Joe Louis a real battle, and who was ahead on points when Louis knocked him out, was Billy Conn. But when Conn lost his balance in their much-anticipated rematch, Louis simply let him regain his balance before continuing the fight. How many boxers today would do that, especially against someone who was a real threat? Although Joe Louis was widely respected as a
Why would you do that? If somebody's losing their balance in a fight, you guys are in a fight. You guys are not in a dance competition or some sing-off or something. Like, you guys are in a fight. Why am I waiting on you to regain your balance? I'm trying to take every advantage that I possibly can. This is boxing. This is fighting. This is any fight game. I'm trying to take any advantage that I can, whether it's MMA, whatever. You got caught. Yeah, you got caught slipping because you did something silly. You should have had your footwork in order. Now I'm gonna punch you on the way down, and obviously not while you're down, but on the way down and make it look like a knockdown, get my points, and that's that. He talks about Joe Louis being, very, I guess, humble and everything like that. And yeah, he probably was humble, but then you have to also think about the time period that he was in. There was basically, you as a black dude, like, you couldn't say anything. So I mean, he had no choice but to be a good old boy, man. He had to play, he had to acquiesce. So I mean, what are we really saying right there again? You look at how they did all these other guys who they talked and they actually were outspoken. I guess to a degree, you would say the Sonny Liston dude, they made him look like a villain. And then you got the big one, Muhammad Ali. You see how they kind of made him look like a villain and stuff, but now he's like more of a legendary figure. They made him look like a villain, sent him to prison because he didn't want to go fight this little silly war that had nothing to do with anybody. And yeah, I don't know, man. Let's keep going, man. What do you guys think about that? Do you think that what I say has some validity to it, or do you think that he's just saying, oh yeah, man, boxers just back then were just so much better than? It's like, bro, like you're talking about Joe Louis in particular. He was a black guy back in the day when white men were basically weren't a human to them. They had Jim Crow going on, and I think he was back in the time way before that when it was worse. So you couldn't say nothing, or they'll take all your stuff, everything from you, and make you look terrible, paint you as the villain. Let's go.
Model of sportsmanship. He was by no means the only one who behaved like a gentleman in the ring. That became a norm that heavyweight champions after him tried to live up to until the 1960s. Early in his career, Louis was upset by Max Schmeling, who knocked him out. Although Schmeling was from Germany, and some tried to depict him as a Nazi, Schmeling went over to help Louis to his feet after the knockout. In their rematch, the first thing Max Schmeling did upon entering the ring was go over to Louis's corner to shake hands with him, even before going to his own corner. It was a gesture that distanced him from the Aryan supremacy interpretation of his victory over Louis that the Nazi regime in Germany had made after their first fight. The loutish loudmouth that...
So man, the theme that I've noticed on all of Thomas Sowell's videos is white man good, never really did anything. Black man, you did this to yourself, Like, and we know that there are some good white folks out here, and we know that we know for a fact, we really know for a fact on both sides that there's garbage on both sides, to be honest, man. They're good on both sides, and there's garbage on both sides, and we know that that I'm not really mad at giving some critique to your own people and everything, but I don't agree with selling out. Do you know what I mean? I don't really agree with that. And he's talking about how the dude was part of the Nazi party and everything like that. I mean, he wasn't part of the Nazi party. They probably made him dress up again, and like just like how I talked about with Joe Louis, like when he was you're overruled by white man country. You're a black guy. There's not much you can really say that's out the way and feel like a free man. And I'm pretty sure he wasn't, the guy that he's talking about probably wasn't with the whole Nazi thing. Everybody wasn't with it, but since Hitler wants to send his great white hope over there, of course he wants to dress him and decorate him in the most Nazi outfit that he can get. So that guy probably just wasn't feeling it. He came up, shook his hand and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, like I said, all white guys aren't bad. They just, some people just happen to be, I guess you just happen to be a certain race and it makes you seem bad, but they're not all bad. So I don't know. He just, but I don't like the way that he's trying to make it seem like, oh yeah, you see, white people aren't bad. Like, nah, bro. We know that we know it's half and half, man. Come on, man. You got to be a little smarter than that. Let's go.
Than childish displays that have become all too common today in boxing, as well as in other sports, began in the 1960s, like so many other signs of social degeneration. What about the quality of the fighters themselves? There have been great fighters in both earlier and later times. Mike Tyson's one-round knockouts electrified many boxing.
So he said the 1960s. I'm sorry I keep stopping, man. It's just so many little silly things, man. The clip is almost over, but man, he said the 1960s was the start of social deterioration. What about the Jim Crow era? Was that not already social deterioration? What about before that? It was already pretty much deteriorated as far as human decency. You got white people running around treating black dudes like subhumans and all this kind of stuff, and still not really giving them rights. You still got them living over here. You still got them living over there. You won't even let these people move into your neighborhoods because you just automatically think it's a stain on the neighborhood. It's not like how it is where, you know, people are so enveloped in this whole rap culture sometimes nowadays where it's like, all right, you might be kind of taking a risk. Like this little dude, he wants to move over here and you know, yeah, he's got his money, but he wants to keep that little hood edge on him. It's not like that anymore. Back then, everybody was working hard and just trying to live. But you know, you guys were out here. Well, not you guys, but those guys. I'm sorry, those guys were out there. You know, they weren't putting up no good human decency. And he's talking about the deterioration. It was already deteriorated. Humans just in general just are having deterioration, and then I guess he's also mad because the black people were probably fighting for their rights. You know, he doesn't like that. You know, he doesn't want to have this skin color. Let's get it.
Fans, but Joe Louis still holds the record for one-round knockouts in heavyweight championship fights.
So what?
The only way you can be sure who hit harder would be to be on the receiving end of their punches, and none of the boxing pundits ever agreed to do that. Lewis's punches tended to be short and quick, but guys went down like they had been struck by lightning. When Lewis knocked out Jimmy Braddock, the Cinderella Man, to win the championship, Braddock lay face down on the canvas without moving while he was counted out, and afterwards his handlers had to come out from his corner to get him back on his feet. It was much the same story when Rocky Marciano won the championship from Jersey Joe Walcott. After a right to the jaw from Marciano, Walcott fell limp. As he fell, his arm got tangled in the ropes, so that Walcott fell forward with the top of his head resting on the canvas. He was counted out in that position without moving a muscle, and his handlers too had to come get him and revive him before they could take him back to his corner. How would the fighters of the past do?
Let's see. So man, it's funny that he's talking about all this. Oh man, there was just degeneracy in boxing just came and later and everything. And the guy that he just made an example about was the Rocky Marciano dude. And he, this black guy went down. He already was down, and he hit him with another punch while he was on his knees for good measure. Where he was close to being on his knees, he's already down. You don't need to hit him.
It was much the same story when Rocky Marciano won the championship from Jersey Joe Walcott.
So what are you talking about again, Coonologist Sowell? Come on, man. Do better, man. You got to do better. Come on, man. You putting up terrible examples on your own video. Come on, bro. And I'm not putting up the video because I don't want him to copyright and be like, oh, yeah, man, he crushed me talking about I was a coonologist and he was against what I said. Nah, bro. Let's keep going. So far, man, the theme I'm getting from this video is basically, it's like I'm an old guy, and back when I was old, everything was better. You know, man, you know how you got them old guys, man. You got them, anybody like that has boxed before, you got them old coaches that be like, man, back in my day, we ran 30 miles every day, and then we came and we hit the bag. We didn't need all the mitts and stuff, man. We sparred, and then you could go 15 rounds every day. It's like, bro, like that's, you know, that's stupid, but yeah, okay. All right, old guy. Let's finish it.
Two had to come get him and revive him before they could take him back to his corner. How would the fighters of the past do against the bigger and heavier fighters of a later era? We will never know. What we do know is that Rocky Marciano, who was strictly a knockout fighter, never fought as heavy as 190 pounds, and Joe Louis was at his best at no more than 200 pounds. It is much easier to compare the referees. The old-timers didn't keep issuing warning after warning for round after round. they penalized violations. More lax officiating may be why so many fights in recent times have had so many clinches and so much wrestling
What?
and dirty fighting. That, too, is unfortunately a reflection of the general trends of our time.
Alright, man, so this guy doesn't know shit about boxing, man, at all, man. He literally just acted like clinching was a bad thing to do. Come on, bruh. Clinching is a part of the game plan. You've got the greats do it. Floyd Mayweather, Andre Ward. I'm pretty sure I can think of several others if I really want to sit here. But yeah, clinching is a part of the game, so that lets me know he doesn't really know what the hell he's talking about. You need to stay in your lane, bruh. This is not in your wheelhouse. Yeah, so first, the basic theme of this whole video right here is, yeah, he's an old guy, so he's of course gonna think the old times are better no matter what, man. Back in my day, he's one of them kind of guys. And then secondly, you've got the obvious thing is, you know, he's a master criminologist, and anything that black guys do or have had success at, he's gonna try to tear that down, and of course talk about, you know, the good things that the white guys did and everything like that. I mean, like, and yeah, he showed Tyson Fury, and Tyson Fury is a new age white guy that's doing good. And yeah, Jake Paul was on the thing, and he's a new age white guy, but he's doing good. And I guess you could say he's deteriorating the sport, but I think he's deteriorating the sport in a different way. I think he deteriorates the sport in more so, like, I guess, like, the validity of the sport, because it's like you got a YouTuber coming on there and he's fighting and beating up guys who are actual fighters, and that makes the sport look silly. Or just the mere fact that you've got a YouTuber on there boxing, where you got all these other guys who spend all their hard work and dedication in the gym, and you know they're still out here trying to figure out how they're gonna eat. So that's just my thoughts on it, man. But yeah, man, that was a silly video by your boy Thomas Sowell. He missed on that one, man. Stay in your lane once again, and keep on tuning and pandering. And yeah, that's it for the video though, right there, man. Let me know what you guys thought about that, man. If you watched up to this point, thank you. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time.